In Creo Parametric 12.4.2, cable harness assemblies replace cable harness parts. In a previous video, I took a look at converting a cabling assembly, but that cabling assembly did not have any logical data. In other words, it did not have logical references from another source like Creo schematics. This assembly does have logical data. If you took the old PTC cabling class, you might recognize it. I had a better assembly to use, but I accidentally screwed it up. Anyhow, here I have the assembly. I am in standard assembly mode. You can see that we have a bunch of components at the top level. Then there is a cabling subassembly, and within the cabling subassembly, there's a skeleton. We have some other assembled components like connectors. We have a whole bunch of spools, and somewhere in here is a harness. There it is, harness 1. Also, you will notice right now I have a simplified rep active. So let us try to convert this. I will go to the Applications tab and then choose Cabling. And again, here we have the welcome and the explanation that the cable harnesses have been updated to assemblies. The message went away. So let's try converting this. And so I'll go into the electrical cabinet assembly in the model tree down at the bottom. Let me expand the cabling assembly itself, and then once again locate that harness. And so first I will right click on it and then try convert to assembly. And here it says ensure the harness's parent assembly is active before attempting conversion. We saw that last time I did a conversion. So let me scroll up. Here is the cabling subassembly. I will activate it. And once again, we will navigate to the harness part. I will right mouse click and hold and choose convert to assembly. And here we get another warning. Ensure that all models are in the master representation before the conversion. And so that's why I pointed out the fact that I had a simplified rep active. Let me get out of there. Maybe I'll jump over to standard mode for a second. Let's go to the view manager using the in-graphics toolbar. I'm going to change from this simplified rep to the master rep. Let me close. And there is a big part that is blocking my view. I will right click on it in the model tree and then hide it. And you still see the basic outline of that part with a cutout because of a skeleton with some copied geometries or shrink wraps or something. But anyhow, you have to be in the master rep. Let's go to Applications and then Cabling. And again, we have the warning or the welcome. Let me click no. I don't want to go into the help. And let's see, let's find our cabling assembly. I know that I need to activate it. And now let me find the harness part and I will right mouse click on it, convert to assembly. And in the harness conversion to assembly dialog box, you'll notice that we have a bunch more items than last time. And one thing I want to point out is this cabling data assembly that is going to be created. That's actually going to be the placeholder for the logical data. And let me scroll down. You can see there are quite a few items in this list. So we've got a whole bunch of bulk item wire spools and cable spools that will be converted to .prt part files. Let me scroll down some more. Then we have some other spools that will create our cosmetic features. And then we have some other bulk items for tie wraps. So tie wraps are bulk items. And actually this one, I think, do they have some real actual parts in here? I can't remember. But let's scroll down and take a look at some of the other different things. Okay, we have some markers that will become bulk items. So again, those cosmetic features are now going to be .prt files, and you can check them into Windchill and reuse them. And let's see, we've got some custom components, and we also have a splice. So let's click the OK button. and we can see that there is a conversion in progress. All right, one thing to note is that all my cables went from their original color to gray. I actually talked with someone from PTC about this. There's a way for handling this, and I'll show that in another video. It's basically you have to read in the color file. But I will also note that there are some components that ended up in the wrong location. I don't know why, and I would have to go back and fix them, but that is just something to be aware of. You will also see that there is a note right below the ribbon. It says that we are in conversion review mode. We got this note before, and it says that we can review and fix any errors from the conversion. But for now, I'm just going to click the OK button to accept the conversion. And so everything has been converted. Now, one thing to note is that there is a command available. Let me activate the harness, make sure that's active, the harness assembly. And when I do that, we also have another note here regarding legacy cabling data cleanup. And it tells us that your harness assembly has leftover legacy cabling data from before the conversion. It is recommended to remove it using the Remove Legacy Data tool. And I did not use the Remove Legacy Data tool in a previous video because I was unaware of it. But now I know about it, so let's go and take a look at that. And actually, let's take a look over in our model. And I'll just point out that we have a bunch of our different assembly level features for our cable spools and also some of our various different cosmetics. I expect those to go away. Let me go to the Cabling Data and Components Overflow menu. Here we have the command for removing the legacy data. Let's see what happens with this. I've actually never tried it before. All right, and so here we get a warning, and it tells us that this tool removes old cabling data for all harnesses in the design. This data is now part of the cabling data model, and it is recommended to remove these legacy leftovers to prevent potential issues in the future. And then there's some text in red. I think I need to pay attention to that. It tells us that the operation is irreversible. Do not proceed with this tool if the overall design still includes harness parts. Ensure that all harnesses have been converted to assemblies and all downstream designs updated before utilizing this tool. And here's the neat thing. It even actually makes you check this box before you can proceed. I have converted all harness parts to assemblies in my top level assembly. There's only one harness part, so I feel safe. Let me click the OK button. And we get another warning. It's like, are you really sure that you want to do this? I'm going to say yes. And again, it's telling us it's irreversible. So I'll click yes. And legacy cabling data has been successfully removed. I expected these different spools to go away. Again, I'm learning this stuff at the same time that you are. Here we have our harness assembly, and we have our PRT file, and here we have our cabling data assembly. Just has the placement and the annotation, so we have all of our different reference designators in there, and we have our cable, our network, all the different locations, and so forth. And so I know that I need to do a little bit more research on my part to try to figure out what exactly was removed during that operation for removing the legacy data. One last thing to note is that since this has logical references, logical data from a source like Creo Schematics, here we have the cabling data command. This is brand new. And when I click on that, it opens up a dialog box. So this is all the data that came in from an XML file. And it's got our logical references, the model names it was looking for, and the components it was matched up. And here's the status for designated. And so this dialog box will be used for a lot of the previous logical references steps that were done before. And so if you take a look at the icons in the upper left-hand corner, here's where we have an icon for designating. Here's where we have one for choosing which columns are displayed. We can import logical data from this command, and then we can automatically designate. That used to be a command from like a drop-down menu. And more commands in here like permit mismatching between the name it was expecting and what names you have in the model. Here we have for updating based on some imported logical references, and evaluate the differences between the two. So for example, I click that and we get the menu manager to pop up again. Let me quit out of there. And one thing that I also noticed is that over on the right hand side, we have an open button, and that allows us to select an assembly to use as the reference model for the context of this harness. Interesting. There's also a junction box that we can expand, and it shows our different entry ports, and it shows whether it's designated or not, the type, and the internal length, a little bit of wire that's going to stick inside of the entry port for calculating your wire lengths. All right, that's good. Let's click the OK button. So there you have it. That is an example of converting an assembly with logical data. And I see that some other actions happened after I clicked OK out of the dialog box. And in the next video, I will try importing logical reference data into an assembly with a cable harness part that does not have logical data yet. We'll see what happens there. Hope you enjoyed the video.